Okay, hopefully my microphone settings are working correctly because I've been a bit strange lately, but we have a GM5 VOD request from Bobbit on Symmetra and Soldier on Blizzard World. In the start, we got really unfortunate that their team comp hard countered us, so we lost first really quick. In the defense, we didn't apply enough pressure to the Xayah, and they walked on us. Okay, we'll take a look at that. In attack, we was able to work on comms and make more coordinate plays. That's, I'm assuming, because of the Symmetra. We struggled with target focusing and overextending. Ultimately, we took the map, but it was close. Well, that's impressive that you took the map if they had 4 minutes, a 4-minute time bank on attack. Because Blizzard World is quite an easy map to snowball, I think. At least until right at the end of checkpoint B because of a spawn advantage. We can take a look. We're on Hanzo at the moment. Now we're on Sojourn. Okay, we'll take a look at this, but we won't spend too long on it. Just because I'll assume that you are looking for feedback more on the sim and the thing, especially if this is a role. I'm assuming there's not a lot to look at, and I'm now realizing my game audio is quite loud, so I'll turn that down.
Thanks for the help.
That was very reactive. I was going to say something about the Xayah walking on us. This seems like a spatial awareness sort of thing, and I wonder if it's going to be common throughout the whole VOD if you're saying the Xayah keeps walking on you. I think there was a window to have left this spot a while ago, / just turning and looking at where your team is playing, what they're playing. I think you get healed up here, you peek, you see this, you see her use a bubble. If she uses a bubble, she's taking space. If you see that, you turn and GTFO straight away. You don't hit this charge shot, you don't keep shooting her, like, you get out. And know your escape route too, so probably slide boosting to the high ground. Anyway, we won't spend too long on that, but that's just a little red flag early on about spatial awareness and understanding where your team is playing, because that's a pretty crucial part of DPS, is being able to time your level of aggression with your team, not only in positionally wise, but like through cooldown management as well. With your tank, you want to be able to synergize with them, especially on any form of dive. Again, when missing this Xayah. Like, we saw her on the high. Are we tunneling right now? Do we not see her at all? That doesn't look like it. That happens. That's alright. Nice. A ricochet Sonic. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was missed by so little. Oh, we're staying. We're staying. Yeah, okay. Same thing. Same death as the Sojourn. That was your shot. You missed it. You fire one more because he doesn't know where you are, so he's just going to jiggle peek for information. That's your arrow. You're out. You missed it. You missed it. It's not the end of the world, but overstaying here and feeding is worse. And then if you weren't out by now, you definitely should not be taking this arrow, unless you had a Sonic up. And a Sonic that he wasn't prepared for. Obviously it makes it a bit harder now with the Sonic Arrow nerf, where they can see the ripple effect, which I think is not very cool. I think, you know, that's a new player nerf. But, I mean buff, sorry. Unless you had a play like that where he wasn't aware that you had information on where he was. But I think people just know how to play around Hanzos when they're peeking corners now. Like, they're quite good at movement, especially a highly mobile hero like Soldier. I turn it up a little because it sounds a bit quiet.
I cannot give up yet.
Again, not gonna spend too long, that's why I'm not worrying about like mechanics or any sort of positioning, just looking at what the errors were in terms of the most obvious errors being death. This Zaya's on our left again with Grav, so I'm assuming this is going to be another death right now. Oh, we chased hard, man. Holy.
I'll find them. I'll find them.
Sonicking your flank for information, it's fine. Unlucky miss. You shoot another. Shoot a third. Getting into the thing. Yeah, I don't know that we need a chaser. I think the Ryan can do the job well enough, or someone else can finish her off, you know. If we had to chase her, we drop on the other side of the catwalk, right? Or the high ground, whatever. Like, we drop to our left, and we don't put ourselves between their tank and their backline as Hanzo. Like, that's just that's pretty standard positioning as a long range poke DPS. Nice shot. It's unfortunate their tank can touch. Nice. Nice. Unlucky. I'm assuming the Ryan tanked a bunch of your Kiriko healing just then. That's the first death that I don't really care about. The other ones were definitely a spatial awareness thing, I think. It is the same thing. This death is identical, but it's just a bad position in general. Like, we're so out in the open right now. We should be rotating instantly to here, or even pushing further and then looking, because Hanzo, being a funny hero in that he can one-shot a lot of people, and being a spam / poke hero is all about elongating angles and playing long angles and tight chokes. Long angles with tight chokes. Because see, this, and I'll just rotate the camera because it'll probably show it better. This is a long sideline, but the gap that they have to operate between / you have to spam arrows into is wide. And there's sort of other angles I can go before this point, and there's high grounds as well, compared to over here. So even safer would be here, right? Because you have this tiny little corridor. You have a bunch of natural cover. It's ages away. It's on main, like the travel path of the cart, and it's a long sideline. It's ages away. Gives you cover, gives you time, gives you one-shot potential, gives you free spam damage, gives you a lot of things. Gives you an off angle as well, somewhat. If we were looking at one from here, you know, maybe it's this angle, right? Because you can isolate exactly what you're shooting at. You're creating a narrow as possible window for you to spam arrows through. And you're playing distance so they can't walk on you like the Zai is doing. That's what we're sort of looking for as Hanzo. And this is just none of the above. It's a long sideline, but the difference being the cover, I guess. The cover, the distance, the Zarya not being able to walk on you for free. I mean, this death and the one in the Grav seemed a lot more rushing things than the others. But I think the core issue is the same. This is going to be a hard comp to play Tracer into. They have Peel with Ana and Zarya. They have one-shot potential with Ashe, and they have increased chip damage to force you out early with Soldier and Discord. So this will be interesting. This should be really, really difficult. We'll see how you can get anything done. I think you're queued with... I think this is Mully as well. Roadhog. I think this is your tank duo. And I think maybe you're tunneling on their calls. I'm not sure. Hard to tell. Off just one VOD and not being there. But you're better off, like, in that... Just because in that scenario you would have been better off maintaining the pressure on the backline to stop them being able to peel for the Zarya while your tank continued to fight the Zarya in support, in LOS of your supports. You're not going to be able to touch... you can get there, forced out recall, and then... Yeah, that's okay. I'm assuming the Symmetra is on attack. Yes, here we go. This is what we're interested in. But that's why I did want to watch the first bit, because you win this map. So while we can clean up some misplays and perhaps some scrappy aspects of the gameplay, you still won. So like whatever you did worked, whatever adjustment you made especially worked, because that's a complete flip of the script. But I wanted to see what your gameplay was like when things weren't going great, and I think understanding where your team is playing from and recognizing what space is yours and what isn't, I guess, because even then that's too complex. Like, we're just not seeing the Zarya. Like, she was in front of us a couple of times and we just died to her in important places too, like good chokes for our Rhine to hold. So okay, well, off the bat I'm just gonna make a quick assessment based off coordination. I'm going to say you're going to tally a lot with your team. So let me find a wall. Let's change this a little. All right. So what telly bombs do we have as Symmetra available to us? Number one, TP with team. Number two, TP ourselves. Number three, TP bomb. And then a fourth one, I guess you've got like TP alt. But that's pretty situational. Like a Diva Bomb or a Riptire or something weird like that, like a TP Shadow, even if you wanted to use this comp as an example. But regardless, TP with team. Where are we TPing with team? Either playing into a counter, so you TP Orisa into their team, get her closer, TP Ryan into their team, get them closer, or TPing with team to rotate to get to a better position. So rotate or close the gap. And this is applicable in scrims as well, not just ranked. It's even more applicable because you have more coordination. TP ourselves. That is TPing to a power position. TPing on a flank. TPing, let's call it charge baiting. maybe. Charge spam. And what I mean by these is, this one is sort of a denial of, more like, I'm going to TP there not because it's a power position for me, but because my presence through Sim's ability to duel out close ranges and really outpower enemies, especially when they're low on cooldowns, kind of use the hell out of that. I'm going to be able to take away this power position by committing a telly to it. Like telly, and even potentially like this one needs bombs. Then that's an investment of resources that you'll probably get a good enough return on to force them out. Unless the whole team is committing to a power position, obviously, then perhaps it turns more into a number one teleporter. But then there's flank, which is timing it so that when your team is pushing in from angle A, you're going to telly, and maybe their backline is like set up here. You're going to telly like here / here. Doesn't have to be like a complete flank, but somewhere behind the enemy line. Don't have to stay, can just do, it can be like sort of a combination of these two, but in the sense that you're going to split focus. The point is that you're going to split focus, because if you're not doing this, the point of not doing this is that you're TPing yourselves. That you're not TPing yourself is that you're probably sitting with your tank walking and forcing a tank difference. So there's frontlining sim, and then there's doing, you know, creative TP type shit sim. Because I guess the fifth option would be TP baiting, in which you just put it down, but then your whole team just continues to press W forward without using it. But it takes attention. And charge spam, I just mean throwing it. So maybe instead of these, you throw a bomb somewhere like, or turret somewhere like here or here. Like maybe wider, I just don't have enough room. And then charge up a shot and then throw it out. TP, throw it, TP back. You know, baiting attention and forcing them to break it, splitting focus for a second, but more of a safe pre-fight option. Unless it's in the late fight when everything's chaotic, it can be good. You just got to make sure your target focus is specific, because if you were going on it in the late fight, it would be more of an extreme committal play. Seeing someone low on cooldowns or low on health or in a bad position and charging up a shot ready to go and take a duel with them and capitalize on it. And then TP bomb, again, with you or on a flank. And this one is sort of a combination of what we were talking about before in terms of sim flanking / sim walking, is that this is the split focus in terms of if their team is X and there's a telly behind them, they have to deal with that, they can't ignore it, but then they're still receiving, you're still putting out the exact same amount of frontline pressure that sim can do. Especially look for these options when there's like shield tanks, right? Like she gets that passive where she's getting healing back now from her primary fire when she's damaging shield enemies like Zarya. I guess now Lifeweaver after the most recent patch, Sigma, Ball, you know, those heroes. So these are the sort of options that we have available to us. I know it's a lot. Again, that's pretty situational. We won't worry for that for the most part. But my point is that when we're playing in these comps, we're not always, especially in a mirror or especially in a split comp, it can be 1 to 2 TPs, 1 to 2 team tellies per fight. And so they're not always going to be the same 2 tellies each fight. They're not always going to be at the same place. and sometimes it can be hard to even coordinate with this team, so then you just rule out these options. Number one, sorry, and you're really focused on these two in the middle. So that's what we'll look for. A lot of writing, but hopefully it all makes sense, and hopefully I don't need that later, but we'll see. Enough of me talking. Watch some gameplay. So we're looking for our first telly, maybe. We're spamming out a bit. I'm not sure exactly what we're waiting. Are we waiting for a teammate? Okay, we're waiting for our Baptiste.
Adjusting turret placement. Teleporter materialized.
Missed the turret bomb. But this is a great example of what I was just saying about there's going to be multiple team fights per tellies per team fight. And so this first telly from A to B, right? This is doing what? This is doing like 2-1 or whatever it was. It's a TP. Well, it's a TP for our team, so I guess it's for everyone. But it's about denying this high ground, right? And if we were by ourselves, yeah, we probably do have to invest turrets mixed with telly to be able to clear this ourselves, and we probably have to wait for him to, see him use Helix. But if our team's going up here, we don't need to invest all the bombs right now because we're not going to have turrets now to be able to put here or to be able to put here or, put in annoying positions like this, right? Which is going to force people to turn around and deal with them, but they also can't really deal with them from places like back here and here. And telling up here might be good for the next play, but if we have to do it by ourselves and we don't have turrets, it can limit our options. It can limit our level of aggression. We get the kill as well, this is good. The Rhine drops and gets slapped. He's instantly woken though, so it's fine. He's going in right now. That is a bold pin. And we're just going to clean up. And I think part of that was just a bit of misplay positioning wise on their behalf. The soldiers should have been ready to kite that a lot easier. Poking out a lot. They're too far over again. That's okay. What did we do? Did we force him out with that? No?
Sentry in position. I have opened the path.
I don't know. Did he react to the U? Or was he reacting to something else? Oh yeah. Yes, that's fine. You invest a turret, you get him off there. You invest a TP, you get him off there. Now next TP. But it'd be good right now if we had our turret stops, right? I think because of where he was, you would have been fine just to telly up and then drop back rather than commit all the turrets again. That is a bold TP. That is a bold TP. We're tunneling a little bit on the committing turrets to it. There's a lot of setup to these tellies, and it's making us play a bit slower, and that's not favouring our team composition, I don't think. Huh. Nice. Oh, okay. She's just trying to die cut. This is all good. No, the Tsar's coming up here. Oh, careful. Careful committing wall first. Because they have so many ults. Particularly Visor. It's going to be a lot easier to pull off now. And so is Barrage. You can just make the Pharah kill herself if you barrage the right spot. If you wall the right spot. Nice use of the telly. I don't know if it was necessary because you were late to getting in there, but it was cool. I like the thought for sure. I just want to check out this when she walks up.
My sentry was destroyed.
We're aware of it this time, which I like. I don't like how we're turning. That's what I was interested in, as to why we backed off her anyway. Were we not sure if our team was? We were just a bit hesitant. Also, in general, I think the best default wall when you're unsure or when you're rushed, I think the best way to wall is perpendicular to point, or like splitting point in half. The difference being that this establishes their space, your space. This doesn't, and it creates a wall that is able to be like danced around like a monkey bubble. And so like it wouldn't be, another one would be like spawn wouldn't be bad, going perpendicular to their spawn, just because you can continue to aggress without losing the value of the wall, in essence. Could have just been a bit rushed, that wall, like I'm sure you probably understand that pretty easily, but nonetheless, we shouldn't be getting rushed too often, because that means we've been caught off guard. Okay, we're losing a little bit of value here. We're down Kiriko. He wants to go in with Visor. Great opportunity to split focus and Teleyonder here. Absolutely great opportunity. If we're not with, so obviously play with your team, because you can do a lot of shit right with your team just by rotating with them and sitting behind your Rhino and holding left click. But if you miss the opportunity to green light, go on them. Absolutely look for off angles. This is the sort of pinching that Symmetra can accomplish. And she could even do it like in a team setting. If your Kiriko was alive, then your Kiriko just comes with you and she enables you to sit for longer. And then if nothing else, you're not going to get your Kiriko killed because she can swift step away if your telly gets broken, and then it's just you feeding. You're never going to get anyone else in trouble. They're going to force a tree. He still gets the kill on the Ana. That's huge. We're dying to the Zaya again. Where is this telly? Holy. Okay, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it was a turret bomb in spawn. Okay, I think that was a bit of panic. We're just gonna drop into the Zaya again. I'm confused about why you're going. Like, are you just listening to your Rhine and following your Rhine's call? Yeah, I get just the fact that you even placed the telly. I just thought you would go with it and spawn camp someone, or I don't know. But I think you just commit. Like, as Sim, right now the situation is saying set up turrets and just exist on this high ground so no one else can, and your BAP can for free, and deny the Zaya this space. But I don't know. This is strange. This is strange. We're not point pressured or anything. We've just gotten a bunch of space, but now there's just no pressure going out, so our team's getting walked on.
Can still be ours.
They're gonna get cleaned up, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's.
Hey, what happened? The payload has stopped.
I can't. I'm just not sure why you walked towards the Zaya after seeing her there, and then tried to drop to point to follow your Ryan. I I don't know.
Positioning turret. Teleporter taking shape.
Was that a turret as well?
Positioning turret.
Yeah, okay. Again, 1 to 2 tellies a fight probably. Just to rotate, you know? Just to get around, to get your team, because unless you have a Lucio or unless your team is going to rotate bottom and then TP to point and then force point, right? That's 1 telly fight. The other one is most likely going to be to close the gap / force them to rotate. So first one is just taking space telly, and then the second one is more of a utility one. And the first one is going to be a team one, but only because you're playing a team comp that it fits with, right? If you were playing Sim in some comp that it didn't make sense with and didn't gel with, and like classic ranked scenario, then maybe this is just for you. Maybe you're going to take away this position for the Ashe. Maybe you're teleporting to here to look for flank opportunities / just force them to respect you and rotate back and get some space for your team. Maybe you're just going to solo pressure point. I don't agree with it, but maybe you're just going to solo force point while your team is going to push up top or dive this high ground, you know. My point is that there'll be way more fights where you're using 2 to 3 tellies than just 1. And so you need to understand how much of your kit you're committing, because if Symmetra has power spikes like this, using these peaks are when she's full health. It might even be actually even better, like right here is she's full health, she has 3 turrets, she has teleporter up, she's teleporting into a favorable position, whatever, and then she even gets to extend that peak slightly before it comes down if she can manage to, you know, get charged, hit her shots, or track well. And you have these insane power bursts, but if you've used turrets already and you're just telling, then the peak is sort of like that, right? Like it can't quite get as high. So you need to be careful about how much you're investing, because at the end of the day, teleporter takes time to come up. It's not an instant kill. It's not it's an ability that takes time, and it can be reacted to, and it can get nothing, you know. But it doesn't get nothing. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's kiteable. So if all it's getting is space, then that's all that needs to be invested into it. Turrets don't need to be invested towards space. Just teleporter does. This is the same thing as the first round. We drop with our team. And wouldn't you love to telly under this Ana right now? You just saw her use nade. So at best you get slept if you don't kite it well. I know we're spammed out right now, but we could be then setting up our turrets. Waiting to get health. We're full. We telly. Where is she now? She's on the high already. Missed that opportunity, but still. Point stands. I think we're... Part of this may be just listening to the Ryan's calls and following the Ryan's rotations, but yeah. This is Zai is like right next to us.
A chance to iterate is always appreciated. Constructing my teleporter.
I think I'll leave the soldier for today, and we'll try and finish off this attack. We just get spammed out. What do we do? We telly high. They get killed. Bap tried to lamp through the obelisk in the middle. Overstated, welcome. A little bit of staggering, it's okay.
Your path is completely certain.
We're walking, we're walking, we're walking. We're turret bombing.
Sentry is offline.
Get cleansed through the anti, this is good. I was going to have a go at you not pressing W when you come through this telly. But I think
My sentry is offline.
you get cleansed, they get pulled. And then if they tree, you sort of do just need to chill and spam them out. Nice shot. Now telly, now telly. Telly in. Like this is I don't think you throw at all if you die here. I don't think it's possible because they don't have ults. And I know you may not know that, but I just think you can go hard right now.
Teleporter manifested.
A little bit of micro. Setting up turrets can be good, but it does take time. And any time that you're spending doing that, you're not throwing pressure out.
My sentry was destroyed.
So just think about that. Like, yes, it's good to get turret out, but they're easily broken. They don't do as much damage as they used to. They're used for scouting now as well. So just be careful you're not tunneling too hard on getting them down.
Teleporter taking shoot. Aligning sentry positions. Knock out the bachelor.
She just farmed you for like 80 charge. Unlucky.
Constructing my teleporter.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a dangerous position against a Hanzo.
Positioning turret.
Oh, chill, chill, chill. Yeah, that was... It's tough, because... Yes, she could get punished right now, but you can't do it alone. And I know it's sort of the right call to shoot at her,
Adjusting.
but it also isn't, because she's not going to die with an Ana there and a Mega and a place you can't really aggress on them. I don't know. It's unfortunate. If your Ryan could have just stepped up and held shield for you so you could do it without being punished for it, that would have been great, but it is what it is. That team is rolling right now with the punches. Clean. How much further is that? Oh my god, there's still heaps to go. Yeah, okay, I probably won't go through the rest of this game. I think there's enough to work on anyway, because I think it's just a spatial awareness thing and understanding about when you need to leave places, when you need to be rotating. I think it's a bit, there's a bit of delay on your positioning. You find the right positions, and I think you play in them and you know where good power positions are, both for yourself and which ones to take away for the enemy based on like tellies to the top of turret and rotating around the map and finding these sneaky off angles as Hanzo. But often we're spending just that second too long, like trying to get that last shot off or trying to take this duel, trying to hit that shot. So be careful with that. Just understand where your team is playing, where it's safe, where isn't. Like if we go back to the first bit, the Sojourn.
Ready for battle.
Like, so even if the Xayah wasn't pushing right now, I won't say that. Just that understand where you are. I guess it's understanding the stages of the fight, because that was sort of the same thing as Hanzo and Symmetra, where we were trying to push and try to aggress too early to the point where all the attention was being thrown onto us, and then it was getting us punished with deaths, I guess. Like the same way we pressed too aggressively here. This was different in the fact that it was not, there was no fight occurring. It was pretty much just a 1v1 that we overstayed for. But this is somewhat the same thing, where it's like the same way with how there'll be teleporter 1 and then teleporter 2. This is, oh god, that's horrible. This, or up here, is position 1, and then that back high ground where your Ana is position 2. Right? This is where we need to get to. This is where we need to live to. Unless your team was positioning further up. Right? Because of where your team is positioning, this is what the team comp dictates of you, right? Whereas if we were sitting more, if let's say for some reason your Ryan was wanting to hold spawn doors, or actually even better, let's say your Ram just wants to sit here, or your Orisa wants to sit here and never move, right? Then maybe this is like so pre-fight, and like let's say no one else is like doing anything. Let's say they're all back here. This is so pre-fight that you may not even consider this position 1. You may consider this position 1 or this position 1 and then this 2. And if the Xayah had pushed here, then maybe position 1 can stay position 1 / can aggress, or position 2 turns back here, and that's more of a support position. But the point stands. But yeah, that seems to be the main thing. It's just understanding when and where you need to be rotating to, and understanding where and where isn't safe, because the Xayah just walking on you is a big red flag of that, because she's not a hero with mobility. And maybe you are more proactive about it when you're thinking about, oh, the monkey can dive me here, or the Doomfist can dive me here. Maybe it triggers in your mind more than when you see immobile tanks like Xayah, but maybe that's something that you need to start working on. But yeah, think about your teleporters, think about how much resources you're investing, think about the stage of the fight again. If it's a late fight and there's resources being used / attention is being traded between both tanks, then there's opportunities to go and make creative plays. But yeah, hopefully you start to see some results off that, and all the best with your games.